We're going to drop this underwater camera on one of the most popular wrecks down in South Florida, and what we saw down there was unbelievable. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Once we made it out of the inlet, we made a 4-mile run south to Fort Lauderdale to set up on this sunken ship 300 feet deep. And our setup for this rig was pretty simple. We had a deep drop light, and we like using these lights just because it helps the camera catch more fish. Once we had the light set up, we started getting our bait ready. And squid is the best deep drop bait. We usually only use squid in bonita when we're deep dropping. So all we did was we cut one of these large squids into 3 small pieces and then attached them to our chicken rig. After this, we attached the most important part, the underwater camera. And once my brother Austin and I turned it on, we were ready to make drop number 1. And on drop number 4, our rig got attacked, so stay tuned. So we start making our way down to the bottom, and it takes us about 45 seconds to get to the bottom when you're fishing at about 300 feet deep. And luckily today the current wasn't that bad. And this might be one of the most stacked reefs I've dropped this camera on, so be ready. And if this video gets over 200 likes, we will be dropping this camera on a shark-infested reef off Jupiter, Florida. So if you guys want to see that, drop a like on this video. We are now 30 feet right off the bottom, and you guys can already start to see parts of this broken ship. So we have just hit bottom, and you guys are going to see this big fish go right by our camera here. And it looks like a big black grouper, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you guys know, let me know in the comments down below. To me, this fish definitely looks like a grouper, but I could be wrong. So after about 30 seconds of being stuck in this wreck, we finally broke free, and then we drifted into this new spot that was loaded with these smaller fish that look like grunts. So all of these grunts were going nuts for the light, and after a while they were able to rob all of our baits just because our hooks were way too big for these fish. If we really wanted to catch these fish, we would need some smaller hooks. And again, you guys can see it looks like another grouper on the bottom left of our screen. But we then drifted out of this spot, and this is where one of the coolest shots are in this video. So if you guys look on the top left of your screen, it looks like a wahoo swims right by our camera, which was so sick to see on the GoFish. So we then were bringing this camera up, and if you guys look on the bottom right of your screen, this barracuda tried chasing one of these smaller fish that got attached to our hook all the way up. If you guys see on the bottom right of your screen, he's chasing it all the way up, and then he decides to just head back down. And let me tell you, this wreck we were fishing was surrounded by these barracudas. So after this, we reset and we were ready for drop number 2. And drop number 4 is where our rig actually ended up being attacked. We now start making our way back down for drop number 2. And on this drop, we had giant fish swimming right by our camera once we hit the bottom. We now just hit bottom, and we were surrounded by these grunts again. And then this massive barracuda showed up on our camera. And luckily he didn't attack our rig on this drop, but on drop number 4, our rig was attacked by one of these fish. So I repositioned our rig, and this barracuda just wouldn't leave our rig alone. But as you guys can see, there were so many different kinds of fish on this wreck 300 feet deep. And the reason we were having no luck catching these fish was just because our hooks were way too big for the size of these fish. So we ended up hooking into one of these fish, and on our way up, if you guys look around on the bottom, you can see all these giant fish swimming by. About halfway up on the fish that we hooked, he ended up coming off the hook. Once we retrieved our rig, we reset it with some new squid and we were ready for drop number 3. So we start making our way down for drop number 3, and on our next drop is where our rig was attacked. And if you guys enjoy this video, it would mean a lot if you guys can drop a like on this video and hit that sub button. We have just hit bottom again, and there were a ton of these grunts all over our camera. And I'm telling you guys, this wreck was surrounded by these fish. Wherever we decided to drop on this wreck, there were always a bunch of these smaller grunts. So we decided to bring up our line on this drop just because we couldn't seem to get anything good to bite. So once we retrieved the rig back to the boat, we reset it with some new squid and made the final drop. And this is a crazy drop, drop number 4. So we are right off the bottom here. In the first couple of fish we saw right when we were hitting bottom were the grunts again. But about 10 seconds into these grunts attacking our baits, a giant barracuda showed up. So one of these grunts ended up hitting our squid, and once the barracuda saw that, he ate the grunt right off our rig. So this barracuda didn't know he was hooked for a couple of seconds, but once he figured it out, he made some crazy run which costed us half of our deep drop rig and the weight. And the camera turned off right after he made this run. Luckily, we were able to retrieve the camera and it still works. And most importantly, we were able to save all the footage of this crazy underwater video. But we hope you guys enjoyed this underwater fishing video, and we hope to see you guys in the next Barjack's Family Fishing video.